Is there a motion to open the meeting? Second?
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded to open the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we have no members remote, so everyone's here. We don't have to take roll call votes. So welcome to this April 25th, 2024 meeting of the Groveland Conservation Commission. We have a couple of public hearings tonight on our agenda. And we have a continued Groveland RDA later and a few updates. So I think we can start right off with our hearings. So I'll move to open the hearing for 932 Salem Street, notice of intent for a replacement of a septic system at a single-family home within jurisdictional areas.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all right, so 932 Salem Street, Bill Holt.
Designed a system, and I designed a system for them. I have a slightly revised plan as a result of our meeting, site walk with your agent yesterday. So I wanted to kind of give you that if I could. It's a little small, and I apologize I couldn't print big ones. I did send Annie a PDF so that she can put it up on the screen. There's two of them there, I think. And it's okay if I stand here? Or do you want me to go at the podium? Fine. So what we have is an existing system that's to the left of the existing house at the corner of the fence. It's right in this area right here. There's two leach pits, which are failing. The closest one is 16 feet from the wetlands. It's all gravel, as you might imagine. It's coming right out the side and down into the wetlands, so it needs to be replaced. We did the existing tanks are also to the left of the house, and they're located right here, right in the middle. There's like an addition in the back. There's a crawl space, and then there's a garage, and the pipe goes under the garage floor. So there's no way to elevate that pipe and relocate it to the rear of the house, which would be out of the buffer zone. There's no way to replumb it. So we have to come out the same location. So we're gonna put a new tank where the old tank is. The old tank will be pumped, collapsed, and removed. And they'll put a new 1,500 gallon tank in, which is compliant with the local regulations. Right in the same location, and it's gonna be parallel and 10 feet from the house. And that's 45 feet from the wetlands, which is the same distance as the current tank. It doesn't change the setback. Because that's lower than where we're going to replace the system, we have to put a pump chamber in as well, which is just beyond that, about 5 feet. And that's a 1,000 gallon tank, and it has, of course, the pump in it that pumps up the septic to the leach area. It's about 5 or 6 feet higher up to where the leach area is going to be. The leach area is going to be to the back of the house. It's in a gravelly area right now where you have some parking for just cars and trailers. And we did 2 deep holes and a perk test. It was all gravel, 2 minutes an inch, and a very deep water table. So we sized that for the number of bedrooms, 3-bedroom house. And it's in the ground. It's flush with the current ground, but you can't really see from the picture. You might look at the bigger one. It's a little easier. It's the same. This is the same. The only, let me go over this first. This is the leach area. What you can't see is a little rise right here. There's a berm. So nothing here will flow that way in terms of
Are there two now?
overland flow.
What's the distance? What's the distance?
Okay, that makes sense.
For the leach field.
Field, there's two different,
That's the
the
second.
beginning of the leach field in front is 93 feet and the back of it is 85. So we've got it almost 100 feet, but not quite. And the reason we did that is because of the paved driveway, which is right here, is a lot of heavy traffic does go. He has large trucks to go through there and it's paved, and it's better not to have the system under pavement. You know, you can do it, but it's better to have it breathe and not be under the pavement.
Okay.
It's preferred not to. So we didn't put it into the pavement for that reason. And then the second part of this is that he would like, he has a garage back here, and he's gonna install a bathroom back there just for convenience more than anything else. It's just, if he's working in the garage, he doesn't wanna have to run to the front house, so he wants to put a bathroom. That does not change the use of the property at all, because a bathroom, you can have 5 bathrooms, 6 bathrooms, you can have many bathrooms you want. They don't count towards increased use. It's the number of bedrooms that requires the size of the system to be what it is. So that, when we did that, we put a tank, because we can't, that's gonna be gravity, but it can't be, you have to have a tank before you can go into the D-box. So the solids will stay into the tank and be pumped out regularly. So that is also, the tank itself is 84 feet from the wetlands. We place that there. So, so essentially it's a fully compliant system except for the setbacks to the wetlands. Well, it complies with Title V, but doesn't comply with your local regulations.
Is there water out there now, or is that a new?
Nope, there's
new
no water
line?
to that's a new line. We're extending it from the house. And we have to be 10 feet from the leach area to get to the barn.
Did I miss the bathroom proposal in the paperwork? Got it? I didn't notice. I just saw the failed septic. in the paper.
Yeah, the reason for doing it is a failed septic, but he'd like a bathroom in the garage as a, say, a matter of convenience more than anything else.
And that's just gonna be a tank, it's not gonna be a leach?
Nope, just a waterproof, watertight tank.
Flows in, pumps out?
Yeah, well, that one flows out gravity. The one down by the house, yeah,
Yeah,
that's gravity to the D-box. The one down by the house has to be pumped up. So it will cycle when it, usually 3 to 4 times a day.
It's confusing when these are two failed septics on Salem,
Mm.
like next to each other.
Well, it's one system.
No, she's
No, I
talking
mean,
about.
our two
Sorry.
hearings tonight are
And they
both
both
in
on?
Salem next to each other.
Oh, okay.
This one has a bathroom.
The pipe came out of the house is coming out right here, right?
Yes, right there. And we're gonna tie into it right there and put a new pipe. Use a coupling, tie it to the old pipe.
Trying to move this in the house over here is a little bit on the ridiculous
You
side.
can't, we can't, because goes under the basement floor and there's no way to make that water, the
Yeah,
fluid flow
short of-
this way.
short of Cutting it all off.
There's one part of it, there's a dry well here. It comes out right here to a dry well for the kitchen sink. That we're gonna have to tie in too as well, because we gotta
Well,
get it to
let's
the
hear what
system.
Annie
So it's
says.
gonna come gravity
Did you
down
get
to
from
the
that?
tank right here, tie in and
That's
pumped up.
this one here.
Right now it's separated, doesn't go into the system, but it's desirable to have everything go to the system we've treated as opposed to a dry well. So they're gonna eliminate the dry well.
So Annie, you visited the site?
Where's the, son of a biscuit, this is confusing.
Yeah, that's the other one.
Right. Here we go. I read through this literally in the last hour and didn't see the bathroom.
Sorry. I was out there yesterday, based on the way the home is built and the addition in the back. that is the only direction the tanks can go out of. So it doesn't seem like there's another location for it to go. Oh, okay. Oh, that's not working. Oh, there it goes. And so when I went out there with Bill yesterday, you have received updated plans where the existing system is closest to the wetlands. It's a very steep drop and it's very close to the wetlands. So I'd asked Bill to beef up the erosion controls there with some silt fence, which he has given you on those smaller plans, which make me feel more comfortable with that there. For those, I think Bill said they're going to be draining the existing fields and then filling them in with gravel to decommission them. The work taking place where the leach fields are going to go, that area is very flat and is kind of bermed a little bit away from where the wetlands are. So putting just a sock there, I feel much more comfortable with. There's really no path for anything to flow if it were to rain. And there's area to stockpile on pavement on the other, even further away from the wetlands for any stockpiling they would need to do. And they're moving the new system further away from the wetlands rather than where the current system is. So it all made sense to me when I was out there.
And we've also tried to avoid all trees, all large, mature trees that are on the site. We are not disturbing any trees that are still. So the change that that Annie asked for was to add silt fence as additional to the straw wattle, to back up the straw wattle in that area where it's closest to the wetlands, and that those tanks will be pumped and then collapsed and filled in with some gravel material, most likely from the site itself, because they'll be digging this out, and what they have extra they'll put into the 2 leach pits. And so that goes from the house around this U-shaped up to that tree, the large pine tree that's there. And then from here, from the pine tree back to the barn, it will be just a straw wattle, which is much further away from the wetlands.
You have a 12-inch diameter?
Yeah, so I have 2 details. The front one is, they're labeled and it says this is 160 feet of straw wattle, and it's this detail, and the second page is the second detail with the silt fence added to it for around the closest area.
Do we, how do we feel about the 12-inch? I've never seen one that big versus regular hay bales. We've had bad experiences with like the 6-inch diameter wattles not actually holding anything.
Yeah.
But obviously 12 is
12, yeah, it's more significant. Yeah.
I don't know, have we used that somewhere else with success?
Well, what's the grade here?
Well, it gets pretty steep right where the existing leach area they're gonna collapse that. So I guess you're not really digging, you're just gonna pump,
Pump
collapse and backfill.
Yep. And put some loam on top.
But it's pretty steep there. I mean, having the silt fence is good. It might be fine. I'm just wondering what everybody thinks.
What are we usually requesting on the diameter of the silt sock?
Well, there's silt sock and fence though,
Yeah,
right?
no.
No, this is a little bit more beefy. And it's a 12-inch diameter. Usually it's the 6.
Well, even just the silt fence ought to be enough. The sock, I don't think we need to worry about whether the sock is going to do much additional lifting.
Okay, I just want to make,
Yeah,
because I'm used to the small ones. That's why I ask. Because we've had occasion where we said hay bales instead.
well, but it's a
fine.
redundant system here, isn't it?
Well,
Right?
Yeah, for that portion.
For that portion, and the other portion, it looks
And that's
pretty
fairly
flat, right?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so 12 inches, that's a decent,
It's almost the
decent
size
amount.
of a hay bale.
almost, it's getting there.
anybody have any other questions to Annie about her visit there? No?
And we're not worried about the bathroom because it's internal?
That's
Yeah.
outside of our jurisdiction. It would have to be external.
Right, that's why I'm asking, because I guess I didn't even notice the bathroom in the
I mean,
It doesn't matter.
I mean, the erosion controls are going to go to where they would be digging to connect it to the proposed septic system, so it's
Okay.
really just,
I mean, it's within the 100-foot buffer, but it's internal, so it doesn't matter.
it's, yeah.
Well,
Except
the
for the
tank's,
digging for
the
the
tank's
pipe.
within the buffer.
Yeah,
Right, no, right, I'm just, do we need to worry about the construction, the additional bathroom, right?
I don't think so.
Well, it's inside the structure,
Right.
whether it's in our jurisdiction or not, it's inside the structure.
It's just the digging of the pipes in there.
Yeah, yeah. Do we have anything we wanted to add? Because I'm about to make a motion that we accept the proposal as proposed.
Did we talk about stockpiling? I remember you said something I think I missed. Do we have an area picked out if anything's gonna, or is it gonna be taken away immediately and brought in?
We-
or-
We're gonna be removing material here, top and sub, and that can be removed from the site. If you wanted to stockpile, we can certainly stockpile it either on the pavement or.
Yeah,
whatever
just
it
some,
is.
just so it doesn't
Yeah.
go and get out of control.
It'd be temporary. You okay with it being on the pavement? Yeah, so, yeah, that's outside the buffer zone. We can make sure that it's up over in here somewhere, or here.
Well, even, I mean, it seems, I'm fine, personally, I'm fine behind the house,
Yep.
just,
Well, if they're offering,
but on the pavement is great too.
They can
It's
sweep it up
better.
afterward, yeah. There's quite a bit of room. You can even put it over in here, if you want it even further
Oh.
away, off the pavement, so it's not in the pavement.
No, that's fine. Okay.
Go ahead, Terry.
move to accept this proposal as submitted with the recent changes. What's this one dated? 4/24.
Second,
Any questions on the motion? Motion is to accept as submitted with the latest plans. April 24. No more input, no more questions. Any comments from the audience? All right, I guess we're ready to take a vote. All in favor of approving the septic system for 932 Salem Street as noted in the motion, say aye.
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 Opposed, abstain, unanimous.
just one copy is fine. Yeah, Yeah.
Thank you.
thanks, Bill.
I looked into the order of conditions or the plan that was for 6 Hemlock Lane, which you guys just passed, and that was an 8-inch sock.
That wasn't really super steep though.
No,
Oh, we should include in our motions on the hearing to close the hearing. So let's take another vote. I'll move that we close the hearing on 932 Salem Street.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, so we're ready. I'll move that we open the hearing for a new septic system for 673 Salem Street under a Groveland only notice of intent. For a second,
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Sure, sure.
For the record, my name is Bob Grasso from Engineering Services.
The site's located at 673 Salem Street. It's an existing two-bedroom dwelling. Sure. Try to hold it. It's an existing two-bedroom dwelling shown right here in brown. It's serviced by town water, shown in this purple line right here. It also has underground electric located from this utility pole right here, going into the side of the house right here. We had the wetland delineated by Norris Environmental, in the blue line shown right here from 1A to 12A. The existing system right now is shown in an outlined orange area. It's a trench system. There's 3 trenches there, and it has a 1,000-gallon tank coming out with a green line, the existing green line right here, and there's a tank right there. So what we're proposing to do, well, first of all, the existing conditions is the first yellow line is the 50-foot wetland setback. The second yellow line is the 100-foot wetland buffer zone. What we're proposing to do is to remove the existing trench system that's out there right now and replace that with Title V sand and a Presby environmental septic system. The reason why we're doing that for a failed system, it's less impact. You get a 40% reduction in size from a conventional size system. It's a Presby. It's 27 feet long by 15 feet wide. And we're going to replace the existing 1,000-gallon tank with a pump that, crush that, remove that, replace that with that 2,000-gallon combination tank, 1,500-gallon septic tank, and a 500-gallon pump chamber. That would be one tank. The reason why we're doing that, we cannot get gravity from the tank out to the D-box in. I presented this to the Board of Health last Thursday. We got approval, and we're looking for the conservation approval tonight. Prior to construction, we will, shown red right here on above the system and below the system, a 12-inch diameter silt sock. We're doing that. It's probably going to be a 3-day project. The grade that you see out there now is pretty much level, and it will stay level. So the grade change will not change out there.
You have to take any trees down?
There's one tree located right in the middle. That tree grew over the existing system. The system's been there for a while.
Right.
So a tree grew up
Yeah.
over it.
In the middle of it.
So we're gonna remove that. If this one gets hit during construction, that one might be removed too. So, the closest, location to the proposed system to the, wetland is 62 feet. That's why we filed a, notice of intent, project.
But it's basically the same distance as the existing one.
Yeah, it's maybe a foot closer.
What do you think of this?
Same distance.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah, what about them?
It was a for sale. The people have moved out.
Probably
I believe
been
the new
there.
owners are moving in soon. If not now, I'm not sure. But there was an agreement that they would install the system.
When was the house built?
It's a fairly old house. Let's see. Plan book
I'm
407.
thinking if the whole thing is in the buffer zone, it's probably been around a while.
Yeah, yeah.
The garage is like in the wetland.
Well, yes.
yeah.
The Conservation Commission in 1985 issued an enforcement order for that.
Oh,
for
really?
letting in the
Really?
Pool. Yeah, so it's been handled already.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's all been well developed. It's grass area. There's no change out there. There's no activity out there other than what's going on right now.
You been out there, Annie?
I'm sorry. Oh,
Been out there?
I went out there yesterday as well. I noted that the 2 trees, they do need to be taken down. But as far as location, again, it's one of those situations where it's as far away as it can be without being with it, while it's still making sense practically for.
And it's a
location.
2-bedroom, and we'll have a 2-bedroom deed restriction. We have board health approval, so we're just ready to put this in.
And you didn't see anything,
No, and I
that we need to
agreed with
get
the
excited
erosion
about.
controls that were proposed where it is. It all made sense per plan to me.
Any comments, questions?
Do we want to just tweak the erosion on the, next to the driveway to just sort of go towards the road? I'm not sure what. use
That's
it
in
is
case
to-
they have to take the loom, the top and subsoil and push it on the side of the driveway.
Yeah, I'm just
during
wondering if we
construction.
just sort of wrap it a little bit. Meaning like it ends at the property line, but if,
Okay, just towards this, towards.
Yeah, just, I mean, I-
Towards Salem Street.
yeah, I don't think
That-
increase
That's
the
not a problem.
distance necessarily, but just sort of
No,
capture a little bit more.
it's probably gonna be a 3-day job.
Right, yeah, hope,
It'll be loom seeded and out of there.
yeah, I can imagine.
What's the erosion controls on this?
12
silt sock?
12-inch.
12-inch diameter.
Diameter silt sock on both sides. And the waivers that we asked for the Board of Health was, because we had a less than 2 minutes an inch, we had to ask for from 5 feet to the bottom of the system to 3 feet, which is allowed when you use the Presby system. And the front setback from the leach area from 20 feet, I believe, down to 16, 13 feet. And we're also putting a poly liner to protect the cellar wall in case any liquid feeds towards the.
those are Board of
the wall.
Health issues though.
Yes,
So-
well, just explaining the system.
Yep, no, appreciate it.
Yeah, you don't really have much
No,
room
I'm
to do anything.
There's
interested.
else.
nothing, taking the old one out, putting a new one in.
I
That's what it's
appreciate the information, actually. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna propose that we accept this as submitted and close the hearing.
Second,
With the tweak on the,
Discussion. Yeah.
with the tweak on the silt
With
sock
with
on the
Tom's,
driveway.
silt fence,
Any butters?
was it noted? Yeah, I don't think it was
don't-
published or anything. I don't think a butter.
Annie, what,
Oh, this
It
was
was, it
published.
was noticed. I got
Was it?
calls about
I
it.
had a legal ad in the new.
Oh,
report.
okay.
I have a copy of it. I'm just wondering if there's any butters in there, before you close the hearing.
No.
If there's any butters.
no,
No.
Butters
no.
to be seen.
any other questions or comments before we take a vote?
Just as a point of interest, I guess. Bill was talking about when he perk tested
Mhm.
for his new site. Do we do that routinely? Like, did we do that for this case? Do you worry about water level or whatever?
Yeah,
course.
when we show up to do the soil testing, we do 2 deep holes, roughly 10 feet down. That tells us the soil texture, the layers of each layer, the colors and the water table. And then we perform a percolation test, which is below the BW into the parent material, which the system is going to use. And we dug a hole and we poured 24 gallons in and it didn't hold water. It was less than 2 minutes an inch. So whenever you're less than 2 minutes an inch, you have to be 5 feet to the bottom of the system because it's,
Oh, that's
the
what you're
wraps.
talking about.
so. Because they add that extra foot because it's going too fast before it gets treated. It needs to get the oxygen to be unsaturated soil before it hits the water table. To get all the good bacteria, the bite bag bacteria.
Thank you.
So that's why they add that extra foot.
Thank you.
But typically 2 minutes and above is 4 feet.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so we'll take a vote then. On the motion to close the hearing and accept the plans with the tweak to the erosion controls. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, unanimous.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That's great, thank you.
7:32, Mike.
Well, we're not done yet.
No, but we had a 7:33 target.
Explanation.
Do we have to open and close the other hearing?
No, we voted to close it.
No, the one.
Oh, well, we'll see about that one. So Annie, we did collect the, required green cards and thing for the other one. I forgot to ask.
Yeah.
And do we have a DEP number for that one?
Please hold.
Agenda went. I give
You want
up.
this one?
Yeah, oh, is that an extra?
Yeah.
Thanks.
There's no, there's not yet.
I'm doing it civic duty.
Actually.
Not yet. So we'll have to hold off
Oh,
on
thank you.
signing,
Yep.
issuing the order of conditions until that's received.
Someone was saving paper today.
So there is no DEP number on the
The first one.
prior one, so
32.
we won't be issuing that order until we get that. And presuming that there won't be any negative comments from our friends at the state. Okay, so we have continued a meeting with 2 Federal Way at our last meeting on the 10th. And so I don't see them here, so I think you didn't hear from them, Annie, right? So I'm assuming that we'll continue it again
Move to
to
continue the
May 8th.
hearing for
Second.
2 Federal Way to, when's our next meeting? May
May 8th.
8th.
Second,
It's not a hearing, it's just a meeting.
Oh. Well, then there's nothing to move.
Friendly
on.
amendment to your motion.
Okay.
Okay, so we're voting to continue the GRDA meeting with 2 Federal Way until May 8th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. All right. Do we have any project updates?
Sure. So 3 Oakland Terrace, which was that drainage project with the French drain and then a flared end, they started yesterday, I believe, and I didn't have a chance to get out there today, but they had excavated the trench and things were going well. The groundwater table was really high there, so they ended up having to dig it a little deeper than they had originally planned, but it's still going well. Location hasn't changed or anything like that. The home on Main Street, I think it's 379 Main Street, that small like salt box house that's just been kind of boarded up. They've started back up again, not for the drainage work that they got an order of conditions for, but just the exterior work for right now. They'll let me know when they start that drainage work. And then other than that, we don't really have any ongoing projects within our jurisdiction that I can think of right now.
Free and clear with the seasonal waiver.
Yes.
Or the seasonal
Yeah.
restriction.
So that's are just starting to kind of come in. So that's why there's really not much.
Does anyone owe us an update on their project for seasonal, that they owe us money or no? So
No.
we're good.
The manor's all paid up and everything?
Yeah, they've received their certificate of compliance. They're all set. So I need, I forgot to print out the 6 Hemlock Lane order of conditions, so I need just stick around for a minute after so I can print that out to get you guys to sign it. Should have printed that out. I completely forgot.
Okay.
That's all I got.
I would ask everyone to read what permit do I file for? Maybe you can email that out to everybody. Because I think we need to discuss whether we want to continue and how we want to continue Groveland RDAs and also especially Groveland Notice of Intent. Whether we want to continue doing them at all. So when you read that document, it talks about what the differences are. Basically, the differences were the distance from the wetland buffer, the wetland area. And so, it was that if it was more than 75, but less than 100, be a Groveland RDA. If it was 50 to 75, it would be a Groveland Notice of Intent. And if it was less than 50 feet, we would always do Groveland Notice of Intent with a DEP. So I'm not sure, Annie and I talked about this a little bit, and she brought up some good points about, do we really need to differentiate? Should we differentiate? Or, should we just always ask for a full notice of intent? You'll notice that tonight, one was a DEP notice of intent, and the second one was a Groveland only notice of intent. And so that was because Mr. Grasso brought up some challenges to what we were doing, and he didn't really want to file for a full DEP. He didn't think it met the requirements for a full DEP notice of intent, so we decided to just have him file for the Groveland notice of intent. But then the issue is then if in the past, when you just file a Groveland notice of intent, we don't get the documentation that we typically get, but you see we asked them to use the notice of intent documentation standards from DEP, but he didn't file with DEP. So it's kind of complicated, but read that document. We'll discuss it either in May or June so that we can maybe start the new fiscal year. If we're going to change our rules, we can start in July.
Okay.
Any other items not reasonably anticipated at the time of posting? No.
Can I just ask how it works with emergency authorizations like the DPW one?
Sure. So for emergency certificates, a public agency has to declare it to be an emergency. So like for a failing septic system where there is like actual septic leaching out where it's not supposed to, the Board of Health would have to declare it a public health safety issue, and then that gives us the ability to sign off on it. The DPW director, well, highway superintendent, whatever, declared that dam to be a safety hazard. So then we can go and do that. And I, as the agent, am able to sign off on those because it's something that needs to happen right away. If the project doesn't happen for more than 30 days, it means that it's not an emergency and they need to file a notice of intent. It doesn't mean that they are exempt from the permitting process. They just will have to do it almost after the fact. So for a septic system, they would still have to file a notice of intent with the plans of what they did and still go through the motions. The dam is a little different because permitting for that is really expensive and we don't have that type of money on hand. So we are already looking into what types of grants we can apply for permitting. That dam was already considered a significant hazard by the Office of Dam and Safety. Things just happened a little quicker than we thought they would. So, but yeah, and then this commission ratifies my decision because I am not the commission, obviously. So that's usually how they work.
We are not in the habit of issuing emergency orders after the DEP told us that some of the criteria previously, this was like 5 years ago, some of the criteria that we were using before, they didn't meet what they thought to be an emergency. So,
Yeah.
so after that, we tightened up our criteria.
Yeah, it has to be declared an actual emergency by like the Board of Health, the Highway Department, or like a state agency would have to declare it to be an actual emergency. Otherwise, find someone to get you a notice of intent and order. So, yeah. Yeah, they're not used often. This was the first one I've had to issue.
Mike, is it time to move to adjourn?
Yes,
Oh,
so,
don't forget to mention the rewilding at BZ Park.
yes, why don't you do that?
That starts tomorrow with the dedication ceremony at 12:30 by the Kawasuk chapter.
Yes,
Um,
Easy Park,
Yes,
201 Washington Street,
yes,
in case you didn't know that,
correct.
at
Are you
the
gonna
top
film
of the
it?
hill.
Film? I don't know. That's a good question.
How about the people that can't make it, that they
I
can
would have
enjoy
to
it
ask
also?
Diane if they're planning on filming it, because it's a little bit of a big deal. It's Diane's baby.
Move to adjourn at 7:44.
Second.
All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.